Welcome to Calculator Active. Today we're going to look at operating the TI-84 Plus and the math key and its functions. So I'm going to begin by cutting the calculator on in the bottom left corner. And I want to reset my calculator because I'm not quite sure what the last operations were. So second plus 712 is how you reset it. So now that all the RAM has been cleared, we're going to press the math key. The math key is directly under the green alpha key on the left-hand side of your calculator. Once you press that key, you'll see some different functions. And right now, the word math is highlighted. So first, let's look at number one. Number one says change to a fraction. So you're able to take numbers, change them to fractions. We can change them to decimals. We can cube a number or raise it to the third power, take the cube root, and take an x root or an nth root by indicating what the root is that we want to take. We arrow down, and I'm just going over some of the most commonly used features here on the math key. So we'll look at those first. If I scroll over to num, there are some commonly used functions here. The ABS stands for absolute value. And then you see functions such as minimum, maximum, LCM for least common multiple, GCD, greatest common divisor. We have remainder. A here shows us how we can change a simple fraction that's in the form of numerator and denominator to a mixed number with a unit and the fraction combined. Then on B here, it tells us how we can change a fraction to a decimal. We can use this next feature to write a number just in the mixed number form and then the fraction form. Okay, so let's go back to math and let's start here. So let's say I want to change a number to a fraction. I'm going to take the number 25 hundredths. So I've typed that in. I'm going to press the math key. And since number one is changed to a fraction, I can just press enter or the number one. And then I press enter. So the calculator has changed 25 hundredths to a fraction in simplest form. Okay. So now let's say I want to change that back to a decimal. I can recall that last answer by pressing second and negative. If you see above that, it has ANS. ANS stands for answer. So whatever the last answer is that you have, you don't have to type it over. It automatically knows this is what you're referencing for your next action. Okay, so we're going to press the math key. And now we're going to hit number 2. And we're changing this to a decimal. And we're pressing enter. Okay. All right, next. So let's say we want to raise a number to the third power. So let's raise 4 to the third power. So I clicked 4, which is my base. And now I'm going to hit math and number 3 for the third power. And then I'm pressing enter. You also have the option of using the caret symbol here that's under the clear button and above the division symbol. Use the caret symbol when you're trying to raise something to a power, especially if it's larger than the second or the third power. So if I want to raise a 5 to the fourth power, I hit my base of 5, the caret symbol. And as you can see, it's taking my cursor there in the exponent position. And let's raise 5 to the fourth. And then let's press enter. While we're doing the exponents, let me also show you that the squared key is on the left-hand side of your calculator here. And so let's say we want to raise 6 to the second. I'm going to type my base of 6, hit the X to the second key, and then press enter. Okay. Right. All right, so now the next, I'm hitting math again. Let's look here. We can actually see what the next pieces are on the screen. So we looked at changing to a fraction to a decimal, raising to the third power, and any powers. And now we're going to look at the roots. So under math, number 4 says cube root. So let's say I want to find, clicking math, number 4. Let's say I want to find the cube root of 27. So the screen first begins by placing the index of 3 and the radical symbol there, and then we have to type in the radicand of 27, and then press enter, and there's our answer. I can also find the square root by using the second function x squared key. Let's find the square root of 81. Enter, and there we have it. So now let's look back over here on this screen. Number 5 has the x root, okay, or we like to say the nth root. So let's say I want to find the 4th root of a number. I first have to indicate what my index is, or what the root is that I'm finding. So I'm going to type a number 4 because I'm finding the 4th root of a number. And now I'm going to go to math. I'm going to hit number 5. And before we hit number 5, you can see right now there is an X in the index place. Once I hit number 5, it automatically takes the 4 and makes that my index. So now I'm going to type my radicand in. So let's find the 4th root of 16. All right, and then press enter. And there we have our answer. Okay. The next piece I want to look at under the math key, let's scroll over to num. Number 1 is absolute value. So let's say we want to find an absolute value of a number. I'm going to click number 1 and press enter. And as you can see, the calculator places bars there. So I need to tell it what I want to find the absolute value of. Let's find the absolute value of negative 12 plus 19. Okay. And because I'm done with the pieces that I want to find the absolute value of, I'm going to press my right arrow so that it will know to close that operation up. If there is something else that you need to type there, you're able to do that as well. Press enter, and there's my answer. Some other helpful pieces under num are min, max, and we'll deal a little more with that when we look at the video concerning entering list into a data set or for a data set. So let's look at LCM. Number 8 is LCM, that's least common multiple. I can find the least common multiple of 2 numbers or a list. But let's type in 2 numbers. Let's find the least common multiple right now of 36 and 8. So I'm going to type 36. I have to type a comma and then the number 8. And then I need to close up this operation since it started me off LCM parentheses. The parentheses means LCM of what? Okay. Now I'm going to press enter. And it tells me that the least common multiple between these 2 numbers is 72. Alright, let's hit math again. Arrow over once to num. Arrow down to number 9, which is GCD. Let's find the greatest common divisor now between 2 numbers. Let's find the greatest common divisor between 6. Let's put a comma there to indicate the next number. Let's find it between 6 and 4. 40. Let's make it 40. Let's close that up and then press enter. So the greatest common divisor between 6 and 40 is 2. And as you can see, it does not matter if you place the largest or the smallest number first. Let's hit math one more time. And you have remainder, and we'll look at another video on how to actually enter the fractions into this calculator. So thank you so much for your time. Second on to cut the calculator off.